About 2 nights ago, I received a call from my neighbor explaining that there are multiple cars outside my house and loud music coming from inside. I immediately asked my neighbor to knock on the door and ask what's going on. He was told that it was a party. I was on a night out with my girlfriend and was absolutely furious, as we had previously made it clear, no parties unless I give him permission. Little backstory. My brother broke up with his girlfriend, who he was living with, and we gave him a room in my house until he saved up money from his job to find a place. We obviously had some basic rules, like he had to clean and help throughout the house. Anyway, I thanked my neighbor for notifying me and instantly went home. When I arrived, the music was still loud, and I entered a dirty house with glasses I think that's supposed to say everywhere, and a bunch of drunk men and women. I immediately found him and shut it all down. Once everybody had cleared out, we had a massive argument, and I ended up kicking him out at night. The living room was completely trashed, with one of the glasses shattered all over the floor and spilled alcohol everywhere. The next day, my brother called me, and we had another argument, him calling me an ignorant asshole and insulting me. Am I the asshole for kicking him out in the middle of the night? So I want to say here, crazy, wild story, but I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here. Obviously, he should not have thrown the party, but you did kind of come in the middle of it. I feel like it would have been cleaned up, presumably, by the time you got back. Not the asshole. Congrats to his ex for breaking up with him, though she dodged a bullet. I feel a little uncomfortable when people are talking outside of the situation, Because you don't know what this guy's like. He might be the nicest guy ever. He might be losing his shit, It's just kind of hard to say. This is a wild one. Hi there, this happened more than 10 years ago, but I've always wondered who was right. I, female, I love how she had to throw that in there because Reddit loves the women. Brought a used motorcycle with my own money, and my boyfriend at the time went with me to check it out. As we were talking to the seller, she mentioned that she had recently upgraded the pipes. My boyfriend asked if she still had the old pipes. She did, so he asked her if she could include the pipes in the purchase. She agreed, so when I paid several $1,000s in cash for the motorcycle, it also came with a spare set of pipes worth a few $100s. My boyfriend took the pipes home and started taking pictures of them to put them for sale on Craigslist. I said that was good thinking on his part to ask for the pipes, and that I would be happy to give him a cut of the sale. He said absolutely not. The pipes were his, because we wouldn't have them if he hadn't asked for them. I said the pipes were actually mine because we wouldn't have them without my paying for the bike. I did, however, believe that he should be compensated for coming up with the idea, so I offered a 50-50 split. It turned into a huge argument, and finally I relented and let him have the pipes and 100% of the proceeds from the sale. Look, I'm going to be honest, if you're arguing about this, I don't know who's technically in the right here. I would say the person who invested thousands of dollars as opposed to the person who had a quick little conversation. I don't think the person would have been giving away free pipes without the conversation, but needless to say, I think, if you're having these arguments, you might both, more him than you, but you might both have problems. I think it's cooked, I'm not gonna lie, but maybe they're great outside of this, who knows. Edit. It's not that I didn't care about the pipes, it just didn't occur to me that she might still have them after putting on the new ones. When he finally asked for them, I thought he was looking out for me and getting them for us to keep as spares. It wasn't until we got home and he started taking pictures of them that I found out that he planned to sell them. I'm not upset about this, nor do I think of it very often. As many of you pointed out, it's ancient history regarding an ex-boyfriend, just one of those gray areas where I've always wondered who was right. Thank you so much for your feedback and interesting, sometimes hilarious responses. It's been fun. Jesus fucking Christ, you paid for the pipes and he stole them from you. I'm glad you dumped his thieving ass. Why do people on Reddit talk like this? Not the asshole. You wouldn't have the pipes to sell without his negotiating. He wouldn't have had the pipes to sell without your purchase of the motorcycle. A 50-50 split recognizes that you wouldn't have had the additional cash without each other's contribution. This is a very succinct way of describing exactly how I felt about the situation. This one has an incredible title. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend that her clothes are not shrinking, she's gaining weight? I've been with my girlfriend since around September. Her body has changed a lot since then, and for a while she was losing weight, but in December she started to gain weight again. She's been claiming that the dryer keeps shrinking her clothes, and she's in complete denial that she's actually just gaining weight. I thought she was just making excuses to me about it, so I told her that it's okay if she's gaining weight and she doesn't need to blame it on her clothes. This really set her off, and she said I was calling her fat. Now her and her whole group of friends think I'm an asshole, when I was just trying to be supportive and letting her know that I don't care what size she is. Not an asshole, but a dumbass. I don't like this narrative or this idea that you can't be honest with your partner, and that, especially women, you have to tiptoe around them. I think that's detrimental to your partner. And I understand I might be a little autistic on this, but I feel like she should be aware. I had the similar thing happen. A long time ago, I gained a lot of weight. I thought my clothes were shrinking because I don't often look at like my weight. I don't pay attention to that, right? I genuinely thought my clothes were shrinking, and I figured out a little bit later, no, I'm just getting way fucking fatter. And I wish someone had had the guts to tell me that at the time. I can already tell this is going to be absolutely incredible. Am I the asshole for asking my brother not to bring a cam girl as his plus one to my wedding? I, female, 29, am getting married. The wedding is a bit short notice as my fiance only proposed in December, but we chose April as we got a really good price for our dream wedding venue. We were offering plus ones for our single guests. Love being economical here. Based. You don't have to waste a bunch of money just because it's a wedding. That's what they want you to do. My brother, Fran, I understand what's wrong here is that your parents didn't love your brother as much as they loved you, and they named him Fran. My brother Fran, male 27, is single and took us up on the plus one offer. He wants to bring a girl, Danny, female 26. Danny is a cam girl, and Fran is a client of hers. Fran sometimes pays her to meet up in person and go on dates, and my wedding would be one of those times. I only know about the nature of the relationship because Fran started this while living with our parents, and they eventually found out. I've only met Danny a few times. Once when Fran brought her to our aunt's potluck baby shower. I feel like Danny's behavior during this event was really inappropriate. See, that's what I was going to say. I mean, it is weird, and it's definitely something you should be concerned with your brother about. If she's not going to be acting weird, then it shouldn't be a problem, but it seems like she does act inappropriately. They turned up 2 hours late. By then, most of the food was gone, with no dish, and Danny kept loudly complaining she was hungry the whole event. She took a load of unused... I'm sorry. She took a load of the unused paper plates and straws and stuffed them into her purse without asking if she could take them. She also made really rude comments towards my aunt about her pregnant belly and how big she is, and how she could get... This didn't happen. You're making this up. I want everyone to be aware this did not happen. This person is making this up. They are LARPing. This is a creative writing project. Appreciate it as such. She also made really rude comments towards my aunt about her pregnant belly and how big she is, and how she should get liposuction after the baby. She managed to constantly make herself the center of attention by just generally being loud and unpleasant. This really upset our aunt. She vented to my mom, who wasn't at the baby shower because she was sick, and when my mom confronted Fran, he had a meltdown and it was never brought up again. I just find everything about her behavior really tacky. This, plus the fact that she's not even Fran's girlfriend or friend, but his sex worker, makes me really not want her at the wedding. At first I phrased it in a non-confrontational way and asked if there's anyone else he'd like to bring, like one of his friends. Fran said no and got really defensive and asked me why I'd asked him that. He then accused me of hating Danny for no reason. You know, it's a weird thing because if you really think about it, I don't think anything about her being like a cam girl changes this situation. But then you think about it a little bit more, and there's going to be people, like say this was Aunt Lucy, right? And your mom is really good friends with Aunt Lucy, and Aunt Lucy acts like this, and she wants Aunt Lucy to attend the wedding. I feel like a lot of people might cave and let Aunt Lucy in the wedding, but the distance here adds a layer of being more comfortable to not let her be at the wedding. But maybe I'm off base on this. I told him he's welcome to bring someone else as his plus one, but he is not to bring Danny to the wedding because I've just not liked what I've seen with her behavior at the last family event she was at. He said I'm being judgmental and that Danny is a nice person. I asked Fran to please not make this a big deal and just bring one of his friends and have a nice time with the family. Fran started yelling at me. He called me a stupid bitch. He called me a stupid bitch and said I've already offered him a plus one, so he's bringing Danny and I can't stop him. This didn't happen. This did not happen. I feel like I'm going crazy because I don't think I'm being massively unreasonable, but this is the biggest fight I've ever had with Fran. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. He called you a stupid bitch. You may not be able to... I'm sorry, this is just... You may not be able to disinvite him due to family pressure, or maybe you don't want to because he's your brother, but you can absolutely take away his plus one. That's what I'd do. He's forfeited it due to his behavior. Hard agree. My personal rule is that no one who has called me a stupid bitch is invited to my wedding. But OP, you do you. Alright, I think I'm going to wrap this one here, but, if you enjoyed, go ahead and subscribe. There will be plenty of more.